Hello again, I'm Coyote Jack, and well, let's continue. So I saw this article, which is pretty interesting to see. We have covered the guys from Bonnie Garden, so these guys even put the effort on developing two different versions for both PC, which is the way better version, and the Switch version. And since the Switch version, the console is released only in Japan, and even that one must be censored to all hell. Well, not entirely, but even you can see the comparisons. But these developers also disclosed that this is what we had to do to deliver this on console, but also you can see the comparisons on PC. Here's the most important stuff that you will want to notice. So, and choose whatever platform you want at this point. And this guy stated this. This is the headline from Automaton. Nobody will be happy if we just prioritize not making people uncomfortable. Bonnie Garden producer discusses difficulties of publishing Risque games. Bonnie Garden producer Yujiro Usuda discusses difficulties of creating Risque games for platforms with strict publishing requirements. Japanese developer Kuret will launch Bonnie Garden 2, the sequel to its Risque Bonnie Girl dating simulator game on Xbox 16, which also we went a run through so, what parts are censored and what not, coming out of the same website. Let's continue. In anticipation of the release, Curate CEO and producer Yujiro Sawada recently talked to Famitsu about the upcoming title, while also discussing the difficulties of creating commercial, quote-unquote gentlemen's games for platforms with increasingly strict publishing requirements. And to be honest, I would encourage them to simply drop consoles and stick to PC. And even in some cases, they release the desensor patches, which is nice. Or even some cases, I remember one of my friends told me that one developer burned all the goodwill because the desensor patch, they put them behind a paywall of $60 for an already expensive game, and just like, nah, yeah, they can go fuck themselves if they do that. But let's continue. When asked whether Wiret's creative direction has toned down since the huge backlash the company received for their work a few years ago, I wonder what kind of backlash. Could be the average quote unquote fan from the West? The tourists. Yeah, it's the fucking tourists. But let's continue. Usada says that while they have been learning from past mistakes, completely restricting their own content shouldn't be the way to go about things. And that's true. True, the interview doesn't explicitly state the incident. They are most likely referring to the controversial Massage Freaks reading game from 2022. Ah, yeah, Massage Freaks that got banned. I remember that one. Let's continue. Saying that we are toning down might be a bit of a stretch. I'm aware that there are people who aren't quite fond of games for gentlemen, but I also know that there are many people who actually enjoy playing curated games. If we were to tone them down, they would lose their appeal as games for gentlemen, and there wouldn't be a reason for us to exist in the first place. At least this guy gets it. Usuda comments, he also adds that going forward, Curate will be aiming to explore different forms of expressions that aren't offensive while still not compromising on the direction of their works. I think that this one is just not making sense at all. Expressions that aren't offensive. But well, nowadays we have seen that over the sensibilized cogs on the internet that they are awfully louder in their bullshit. Yes, they are going to label every single thing as offensive, just like a Muslim labeling that a woman's ankles is offensive. Just saying. Don't you notice that the Muslims and the Wahdi retards in the West have strong similarities when it comes to censor stuff that men would like to enjoy, especially when it comes to seeing women in skimpy outfits. Well, not compromising of the direction of the words, like just simply go way, way, way with the fan service. Make them do every sort of process, and the mothers, they are going to be working extra hours for us. That's it. No drama. Well, when it comes to development itself, the depth accurate usually go all out during brainstorming meetings, often coming up with ideas crazy enough that they quote unquote shouldn't be written down. I disagree. I disagree. You should go well food edgy. Because in the past we used to have edgy stuff. Just look at BMX Triple X, just for saying an example. Yeah, like yeah, write those ideas. Even we have seen ideas from indie developers, like that guy that did a visual novel of a robot, a sexy looking robot that you feed them trash and you can do stuff to her, and that's going to dictate the ending of the game. Those stories are the kind of creativity that we need to see more. But let's continue. And then polishing them down. The difficult part comes when they have to quote unquote optimize the games to intended platforms, often having to make some compromises. Notably, with Burning Garden 2, there are some differences between the Steam and the Switch version due to different platform requirements. So yeah, we already have covered this one before. But again, at least these guys did it right. They released two different versions instead of destroying themselves like most of the AAA Japanese devs we have seen by releasing the same version for all platforms. And you can see that it's either censored or has way less fan service compared to other stuff. But anyway, yeah, for these guys saying that they have a struggle for developing in both different platforms, it can be easily solved if they just use one platform, which is PC. And optimization is good because, yeah, don't release unoptimized crap. That's it. Thanks for watching and please take care.